anything to be nervous about. Mr. Baylor wouldn't have sent him if there was. But he kept licking his lips anyway and wiping the back of his hand across his mouth. He said in his mind, "Mr. Martin, I'm supposed to tell you they're coming up here to raid your whiskey still this evening." Jesus. Then what does he say? All the way up through the hollow, the road was narrow and muddy and deep-rutted from the spring rains. It was hard enough staying in the tracks. Then the two foxhounds came bounding and barking out of the thicket, running next to the car and in front of it, so close sometimes Lowell couldn't see them. All he'd have to do was run over one of Son Martin's hounds. Then which did he tell first? About the whiskey raid or the hound? If the hounds would shut up, he could hear himself think and study on how to drive this road without going off in the brush. But the hounds chased Lowell for 1.5 miles up through the hollow and didn't break loose until he'd reached the clearing, and there was the house. A 2-story, gray-weathered affair, set against the right-hand slope and leveled with stilts, so that the porch on the side of the house as Lowell approached was as high as a man's head. Beyond the house, across the open yard, were the barn and outbuildings, and Son Martin's pickup truck over by a shed. Lowell didn't see anything that looked like a whiskey still. There was smoke rising above the house, but that would be from the cook stove. Beyond the cleared land and pasture, the hills were dark with scrub oak and laurel, and climbed in hollows and ridges up to the clear afternoon sky. Lowell could just make out the roof of another house way up in the trees. High above were jaggedy-looking sandstone outcrops and several open places that looked like dry creek beds, wide rivers of mud where the terrible flash floods of '27 had washed away crops and timber. Some of the trees had been hauled out and milled for lumber, but there were still plenty of uprooted trunks lying dead at the edge of the pasture. Reaching the crest of the road, the hounds streaking ahead of him across the yard, Lowell was going so slow the engine started to lug and he had to shift into second, quick. He missed the gear as his foot slipped off the clutch pedal, and the car made an awful metal-grinding noise. Coasting into the yard, punching the shifter, looking for second gear, and sounding like a kid just learning to drive, Lowell saw the man on the porch waiting for him, standing with his hands in his back pockets. The man didn't come down off the porch. He waited for Lowell to get out of the car. Lowell slammed the door behind him. It didn't catch tight, damn it, but he kept going anyway, around the front of the car to within about 10 feet of the porch steps. That was close enough. "I'm supposed to tell you they're coming to raid your still this evening." Son Martin didn't take his hands from his back pockets or say anything for a minute. He was wearing a brown shirt that looked like an army shirt. In the daylight, he looked younger than the times Lowell had seen him in the hotel, but he knew the man wasn't young at all and must be about 35. It was his hair and his face that made him seem young. Full head of hair cut short, and clean-looking bony face darkened by the sun. He looked like a soldier, that was it. He still looked like one. Son Martin turned a little as he said, "You here?" Lowell noticed the handle of the Smith & Wesson sticking out of Son's back pocket. Past him, Lowell could make out somebody standing inside the screen door. "I guess it's our turn," the man inside answered, the hired man, Aaron. Son Martin was looking at Lowell again. "Who sent you?" "Mr. Baylor did." Lowell snapped the answer back. "In his office? That's where you talked to him?" "Yes, sir." Behind the screen, Aaron said, "Ask him was anybody else there." "Wasn't anybody," the boy said, "just me and Mr. Baylor."